Now, there's a sense in which these prophecies were fulfilled in part in King David. But David was just a type, a picture, a figure of the greater David, Christ, the Messiah. And ultimately, he will rule over all the nations. Remember that when it looks like evil is triumphing. ISIS will not have the final word in this world. They are very powerful right now, but their power doesn't light a candle to the star and the scepter of King Jesus. He will have dominion. Yes, God is letting evil run its course in this world. And yes, there is havoc. And yes, at the end of time, it will be even greater havoc and greater conflict. And it will seem, Scripture says that in the end times, Satan himself is allowed to war against the saints. And for a time, it will seem like Satan and his troops are winning the battle. But they won't win. Messiah will conquer the enemies of God's people, and he will bring judgment to the nations that reject God. Verse 23, Balaam took up his discourse and said, "Alas, who shall live when God does this?" This says to me that God is the God of the nations. He's the God of this world. He's the God of the universe. Psalm 9 tells us that the wicked shall return to Sheol, and all the nations that forget God. And by the way, this nation will not be an exception to that rule. All the nations that forget God will be destroyed. We've been blessed as a nation, but we will not be blessed. We are already experiencing the wrath and the judgment of God at a certain level as he has given us over to our own ways. But the ultimate judgment will be far greater than anything we have ever realized. Now, sometimes God does let his adversaries do harm to his people, but only in a temporary sense, not in an ultimate sense. Satan and all his hosts cannot touch those who belong to God, cannot touch you if you belong to God, cannot touch the bride of Christ who belongs to Jesus, the one he bought with his own blood. Satan and his hosts cannot touch those who belong to God without God's permission. You are unassailable under the sovereignty of God.